Doorbell camera video shows a man identified by Stafford police as Jeremy Banguero in a surprise attack on his estranged wife. Her two teenage children in the line of fire, Banguero at the driver's side shooting.
They came, it's like...
So much commotion Monday afternoon just across the way from neighbor Ann Mosley.
Monday around 12:05, there was rapid gunfire that we heard, pow, pow, pow.
It happened at the park at Tivoli Apartments on Sugar Ridge. Banguero runs off. The victim's son seeks help at a neighbor's door. The 33-year-old with an arrest warrant tonight. Police on the hunt for him. Last seen Monday on West Airport in his red Chevy Silverado truck. Their message: do not approach.
Takeshia Eads was the victim of domestic violence when she was shot and killed yesterday in West Orange County. The Orange County Sheriff's Office arresting her husband, 41-year-old Lamar Bryant, for her death. Channel 9's Sabrina Maggiore is live outside of the Orange County Jail where Bryant is being held. And Sabrina, Bryant is back in jail for the second time this month.
Martha, just 2 weeks ago, Bryant was let out of jail on bond for fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer and possession of cocaine with the intention to sell. Now, today, Takeshia Eads' family says they're not focusing on that arrest. Instead, they're honoring their mother and sharing a warning to victims of domestic violence.
In March 2025, just a day apart, two families in different states faced the same heartbreaking reality. Two women who had never met yet shared a common thread, a choice to move forward from strained relationships. And the men in their lives, unaware of one another, reacted in ways that mirrored each other's actions. Because in just 24 hours, the same pattern played out. One woman fought to survive. The other's life was forever changed. Before we get too deep, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you find value in these discussions. On March 24th, 2025, in Stafford, Texas, it was around noon at the park at Tivoli Apartments on Sugar Ridge Boulevard. A 31-year-old woman was sitting in her car. It was an ordinary Monday afternoon when her estranged husband, Jeremy Banguero, 33 years old, appeared. Doorbell cameras from the apartment complex captured what happened. Jeremy approached the driver's side of the vehicle, and disturbing sounds were heard. Neighbors recalled seeing him act strangely. Her family ran to a neighbor's door, seeking help. As the situation intensified, Jeremy's estranged wife managed to get herself out of immediate danger and ran to safety. And Jeremy, he ran to his red 2023 Chevrolet Silverado and took off. This wasn't his first time. Court records show he had been charged every single year since 2022. Fort Bend County, Harris County, the charges kept coming. He had just been released from jail at the end of January after serving 80 days and got credit for 50 days' time served. So he was out for less than 2 months before this incident, and police had responded to the apartment complex for a welfare check just 2 days before the incident. But here's the thing. Jeremy and this woman were estranged. They had no children together, didn't even live together. Neighbors said they'd see them arguing outside sometimes, but she had left. She'd gotten away from the relationship. Fortunately, she survived the incident. Authorities worked to understand the woman's report. Her account provided insight into the warning signs that were reportedly missed. Allegedly, there had been prior confrontations, but nothing that indicated the severity of what was about to happen. A neighbor also gave her account of what she witnessed. The Stafford Police Department released a statement that read, "On Monday, March 24th, 2025, at approximately 12:07 p.m., the Stafford Police Department responded to a reported incident in the 12,900 block of Sugar Ridge Boulevard. Upon arrival, officers discovered a 31-year-old female victim who had been injured. The suspect, identified as Jeremy Banguero, fled the scene in a red 2023 Chevrolet Silverado. The victim was provided with immediate medical attention and transported to a local hospital for treatment. Detectives are actively investigating the incident and working to locate the suspect. Police immediately issued an arrest warrant. They were clear in their warnings, stating that Jeremy Banguero was dangerous to the public. There was a $5,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. For 2 weeks, Jeremy was on the run. Then, on April 7th, he was finally taken into custody. He's now in the Fort Bend County Jail, facing charges for what he did that day. Just 24 hours later, the same pattern played out in Florida. Takeshia Eads, who went by Keshia, was 42 years old, a mother of 4, grandmother to 4, with another grandchild on the way. According to reports, she worked at Orlando Regional Medical Center and also served as a teacher and performing arts director. She had this way of showing up for people, and she loved God. Her faith wasn't just Sunday mornings, it was who she was. Whenever there were environmental issues in the community, Keshia was right there, helping her mother recover, helping neighbors, making sure everyone had what they needed. But Keshia had been carrying some personal losses, which she was still processing. Keshia had been with Lamar Bryant for over a decade. They'd built a life together, raised their children in their Orange County home on West Livingston Street. They looked like a loving family, but things had been changing. Lamar, 41 years old, had a history. Court records show arrests and charges. Just in March 2025, he'd been arrested twice. Before that, he had been arrested for other legal issues. He'd gotten out and was on probation 2 weeks before all this happened. By early 2025, Keshia had made a decision. After years of what friends described as walking on eggshells, after watching Lamar control the finances even though she was the one bringing in steady income, after the arguments and the tension, she filed for divorce. She'd been preparing quietly, saving small amounts from each paycheck in a separate account, meeting with a divorce attorney during lunch breaks at work. Her family encouraged her. On February 15th, she made it official. For the first time in years, people close to her saw glimpses of the real Keshia coming back. That genuine smile, sense of relief, like she could finally breathe. When Lamar got served with those divorce papers, he refused to accept it. They had a mandatory mediation session in early March. Lamar showed up but refused to participate. He told the mediator there was nothing to discuss because they weren't getting divorced. And then his behavior started getting worse and more unpredictable. He'd show up at her workplace unexpectedly and started tracking her movements. Neighbors heard arguments getting louder and more frequent. Keshia's phone was flooded with messages from Lamar. Apologies 1 minute, accusations the next. 2 weeks before March 25th, Keshia had called a shelter, asking about space, but she didn't follow through. Maybe she thought she could handle it and he'd eventually sign the papers, but she didn't realize just how dangerous things had become. By March 25th, 2025, Lamar went to pick up their daughter. Her friend was also in the car with them. Then he drove to a storage facility on Orange Blossom Trail. He told the girls to wait in the car while he went inside alone. When he came back 5 minutes later, he was carrying a black bag. They arrived at the house on West Livingston Street around 3:15. Keshia had just gotten home from her shift at the hospital. She came to the driver's side window as Lamar parked. Then Lamar noticed a police helicopter circling overhead. It was unrelated, just regular patrol in the area, but it changed his demeanor immediately. He told his daughter to take the bag and hide it behind the shed in their backyard. Keshia didn't know what was in the bag. Her daughter and her friend stayed outside, and Keshia went inside to use the bathroom. Lamar watched that helicopter until it moved out of sight. Then he retrieved the bag himself and headed into the house. Family members were on the front porch outside, and only Lamar and Keshia were inside. It was around 3:30 when Lamar entered the house with that bag. After about 15 minutes, disturbing sounds were heard. Her family ran inside immediately, where they found her on the floor, unresponsive. Keshia's mother called 911. When paramedics arrived minutes later, they did everything they could. She was transported to the hospital, but she did not survive.
Now to a mother of 4 who was loved in her church and community.
Yeah, her husband is accused of shooting and killing her earlier this week inside a home on West Livingston Street, right off Pine Hills Road in Orange County. Family members describe her as a rock who supported many. News 6's Jarrell Baker spoke to them about the loss.
Even though I have so much love around me, the one person that I want is not here, and I need her. I need her.
Cordasia Page says her family is heartbroken, trying to make sense of her mother's tragic death.
just watching people go through certain stuff like this, I promise you,
we never would have thought. My
expected
mom
that.
just buried her sister, and me and my little sister, Takeshia, we was just saying, we don't know what we'll do if this happens to us.
Takeshia Eads was shot and killed Tuesday in her home. Eads' husband was arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
I'm walking in him. I walked past him. I asked him what's going on. He told me nothing. And I found her like that. That's why it's taking a toll on me so bad, because I can't stop seeing what I saw.
She said it's even harder for her siblings like Lamar Bryant Jr. because her accused killer is their father.
Everything happened 2 days for my birthday. It just still ain't adding up, calculating for me.
Paige says her mother was the backbone of their family, a praise dancer for their church, and used her time to uplift others around her.
Meanwhile, Lamar had fled. He discarded the evidence in a storm drain 4 blocks away, but police recovered it the next morning. Investigators discovered that 2 days before this happened, Lamar had withdrawn $5,000 from his bank account. He'd packed a suitcase that they later found in his car trunk, and he'd been on his laptop researching countries that he could travel to, which made investigators believe that he had planned this for a while. Less than 14 hours after the incident, on the morning of March 26th, police found Lamar Bryant at a motel near the Florida-Georgia border. By noon that same day, he was formally charged with first-degree charges. After Keshia's passing, her family spoke about the tragic incident. Even after everything, her daughter believed Keshia would have forgiven him. That's the kind of person she was.
Can't nobody pray how my mama prayed. My mama was really devoted to God, and after he did what he did to my mom, I promise you, he's forgiven by her.
Keshia's co-workers at Orlando Regional Medical Center started a fundraiser. The goal was $10,000, but they raised over $45,000 from more than 800 donors. A week later, over 200 people showed up for a candlelight vigil on West Livingston Street. Her daughters created Takeshia's Light, a foundation to educate young people about the warning signs. They've been going to schools, sharing their mother's story. Lamar Bryant made his first court appearance on March 27th, 2 days after the incident. The judge denied bond. Lamar had researched countries, withdrawn $5,000 in cash, and packed a suitcase. He was clearly a flight risk. On April 4th, a grand jury indicted him on first-degree charges. Trial was set for September 2025. These women tried to do everything right. Keshia filed for divorce through the proper legal channels. She'd even contacted a shelter, confided in family. She was trying to get out safely, but Lamar was still able to get to her. Jeremy's wife had left him. They didn't even live together. Police had been called multiple times. He'd served jail time, yet he was still able to find her. Keshia's family asked that she be remembered by her maiden name, Takeshia Eads, and not Takeshia Bryant. They want her legacy to be separate from his name. Her daughter said their mom was someone who never missed a moment. School events, family dinners, church every Sunday.
We mourn the loss of a beautiful soul, and she's truly missed.
Cordesia Page says she's felt the outpouring of love on social media for her mother, 42-year-old Takeshia Eads. One day after Eads was shot and killed, she's finding comfort in her mother's faith.
On her walk with God, she was bringing a lot of people with her, but this just happened, and it's, this might help somebody else.
Page telling us her mother was the victim of domestic violence. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, 41-year-old Lamar Antonio Bryant shot and killed Eads Tuesday. The family says Bryant and Eads were married.
Every 90 seconds, someone is experiencing abuse.
CEO of Central Florida's Harbor House, Michelle Spurzl, says her organization helps domestic violence victims make a safety plan.
If someone is fearful of their life and they know that something has changed and they are saying to themselves, if I don't leave now, he is going to me or she is going to me, that is exactly why our emergency shelter is there.
Page warning others to leave when they can. Her kids now have to grow up in a world without their grandmother.
It's not going to get better, so it doesn't matter how much you love the person or how much you feel like the person is going to change. It's not going to happen. And if you do have kids, think about your kids first.
Keshia was the backbone of her family, the one everyone called first with good news, and the one they leaned on during hard times. They stated that after the hurricane in 2022, Keshia was right there helping her grandmother recover. Her sister later shared that Keshia had started sleeping in her car some nights, too afraid to go home. Lamar Bryant is awaiting trial under Florida law. Jeremy Banguero is in custody, facing his own charges. Jeremy's wife deserves to rebuild her life without fear, and Takeshia deserved better. I hope these stories help you recognize warning signs and encourage you to seek help or offer support before it's too late. I'll see you in the next episode of Crime of Passion. Thank you for watching.